Standing, that's right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Here. Here.
Wilson, yes. Brown.
Yes. Has everybody read the June meeting minutes?
Yes.
Any corrections?
I make a motion we pass the minutes as presented. Second.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. All opposed, no. Um. We did I did the ambulance meeting last time because I had it in May, right? I didn't have one. Mike, was there a planning meeting, do you know?
No, not this month. Maybe in August.
Okay. Maybe,
Turn the heat off.
The air, yeah. You just turn the fan off. Fireboard,
Nope. This month.
This month.
fan, so we can go off. Here. You just turn it off. Well, there's no off.
That'll help your recording too, not to have that.
Just.
This is stuff now, you know.
Okay. Recreation, Marty?
No meeting, since the last one, and there's a check for me to sign, which I'll go do tomorrow.
Okay. I got nothing on cemetery. Okay, clerk, substitute.
It was kind of a dumb one. Profit and loss, we have two accounts that we need to increase. One is postage. One is the P.O. box went up in cost, and also I bought stamps.
So,
And that P.O. box was only for 6 months, correct?
yes.
So we'll probably wanna up it another $250 plus the $122.
So you wanna up it $350 altogether,
I
make it
think that would be
700?
good.
Mm-hmm.
And that should cover you for the year.
I hope so.
Okay, so that makes it 700.
Unless we have a
total.
November election.
Okay. Yay.
Okay. And the other one is mileage, and most of that is because I went to Plainwell 2 days for training.
Bit of a drive.
It was.
So do we wanna increase that by $50?
Do you think you're gonna have to go again? I mean,
Before
let's just do 100, make it
$100, yeah.
250.
Yep.
And that way, any little thing that comes. And that's the thing.
I didn't either.
You know, nothing really close, except we've already done all of it. Yeah, everything else looks good. Okay.
So, let me move.
Yeah, do we have a motion to,
Move that, increase the line item 735 postage by $350, which makes it, you added up 700 and something.
$700?
Yeah,
Oh.
and, line item 870 mileage, increase that by $100. which would make the total, what, 260, 240?
250.
250 to 150 to 250, get the right line.
Support.
Brown,
Yes.
Kunis, absent. Skelton, yes. LaFleur,
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Nice little month for bills, huh?
Yeah, a little one.
Yeah, and we even have a fire bill in there.
Holy mackerel.
That's really good.
And it wasn't so huge. Okay. That's good.
Yes.
Any questions?
The
about
electronic fund transfer, who'd that go to, what was that for?
Where?
EFTPS, electric funds transfer in the middle-ish.
Oh,
That's the
that's
tax,
taxes.
That's you-ish?
No, it's
Payroll.
Payroll,
Payroll
oh,
taxes.
payroll taxes, I'm sorry, that's different words than before. Okay. I move that we pay the bills in the amount of $9,434.73.
Can you repeat that number?
$9,434.73.
Oh, thank you.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Oh, did we need to do a roll call on the other one?
We did.
We
We
did.
did, that's what you did. I'm short now.
That's okay.
We understand.
We all have
We
that.
kinda
once
live
in a
in that.
while.
Yeah.
The only other thing I have is, all of the election equipment went to the county and was checked out and programming updated by Dominion.
Okay.
And whoever did the VAT has the VAT,
I don't remember.
but they have to do that once a year now.
That's good.
Do we have to pay for that? Or they
I
have those?
don't
We don't
know.
know yet. Okay. Just wondered.
I wouldn't be surprised,
I'm
or else it will be added into the
Oh, the monthly
quarterly
thing.
bill.
Oh, quarterly is what they
Yes.
do. Okay, yeah.
So that's all I have.
That's it for you?
That's it.
This is moving right along. Treasurer, do you
Okay.
have a report?
I have a few things. If you've had citizens complain, it's the courthouse did not have the bills mailed until June 30th, so they were not in people's hands by July 1st, like they have been historically. Scheduled to do a live collection here Saturday, because usually people have their bills for a couple weeks and they're ready. Those that wanna pay in person are ready. Don't know if I'll still be here. I don't know if anyone will come or not. And then lastly, this came in the mail to me. It is from the Michigan Education Trust. It's basically, they're reaching out to the township treasurers to help, get information, make information available to parents. And actually, after I showed it to you guys, I was gonna see what you thought about me sharing it with Janice Noaker, cause they like to do programs at the library. This is a schedule of webinars that the state is hosting. And basically, it's not a new program, it's the same savings program that's been around for quite a while. It's the M529, you can put money in for college savings, it can transfer from, if your oldest child doesn't go to college, and it can transfer down to the next one. There's 2 different plans, I believe, and it can grow tax-free. That's the big hook for people. And it's been around for quite a while. I remember my children were little when it first came out. It just is not being utilized, like it could be. So, I mean, people have other options. I'm not sure if they're just not aware of it. So, what do you guys think about me forwarding this information to Janice
I think
and
you
Kathy?
and they may wanna host, one of these.
Absolutely.
There's one a month that they could do, and they could get extra brochures if they would want.
Yeah, I'm sure they could.
Okay.
I think that's a good idea.
That's all I
Yeah.
have.
Okay.
What about the lady, is there a lady at the school too? Who's the is that Sarah Russell?
Sarah, it'd be Sarah Russell, yeah, I could give her a brochure.
Seems like she'd know about it, but I don't know, but it might be, you've done due diligence then to spread the word.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Sure,
that's the
I
only person I
could,
can think of.
Make
right now.
copies and, give her one of the
Give her
brochures. and just
brochures,
forward
she
to
can
her.
get
That's a
more.
good idea.
Yeah.
I think it's just because nobody talks about it, they don't know about it.
Yeah, even grandparents, it doesn't have to just be you, even grandparents can contribute to the plan. You can get an automatic deduction from your paycheck, there's all kinds of options. I just don't think it's been very well advertised, or initially it was, and now it's just kind of fallen by the wayside, but
Okay,
that's it for me, thank you.
okay, first things first, Doug gave us a letter of retirement. I gave it all to you guys. On December 31st, he's gonna be done. He gave me these 3 names. I don't know any of them, so I don't have any suggestion here. So, I was kinda gonna talk with him again and see what he thinks. No, I didn't think you wanted to. You told me that before. So I'm just, giving you a chance, but that's okay. So that's what I was thinking of doing, is talking to Doug and see who he feels comfortable with.
Do you know either of these guys, Mike? Stephen
I haven't seen
Miller, or Stephen Miller from Three
Matthew
Rivers, and
Jorgensen.
No.
okay.
So that's what I think I'll do. What do you think? I'll talk to him and see.
Mhm.
Yeah, talk to her.
And I'm sure he told me, but I wasn't paying attention. I'm sure, because he was telling me all, I just was lost. Anyway, okay, so then I'll tell you that I talked to him about the signs, and he said that you had to get some questions answered, and you did?
No, I answered the questions. He hasn't heard back from GIS guys since I answered those questions.
Okay, because I got on him.
That's the hang up.
Yeah, because I have to spend that money before next year, or I gotta give it back, and then I won't do the signs.
Right.
So I
And Montville's pushing you too.
And so I have said something to him 3 times this year, because I really wanna get him, I really feel bad about it, because we told these people they needed to do it and everything, and here we are 2.5 years later, and we're still not doing it. So, anyway, they're pushing him too, so if he needs me to call somebody and talk to them.
Jake drove up and down every lane back there verifying everything and
Yeah,
answered all
he
their
told me you guys
questions.
did, yeah,
Even in Montville, so.
yeah, oh, wow, yeah. So he said, well, Mike had some questions, and he did answer them, he said.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, so what's next? Because I don't even have a bill or anything, even if they just give me a bill, because it's gone up from where it started, and now we're into $7,000, so, yeah. Okay, that's where I'm at with that. Okay, the master plan, I gave you this little thing about Constantine. That's our part of the master plan. I didn't if you ever wanna look at the whole thing, I have it on my desk. But I thought this was kinda interesting, some of the statistics. I read through it, I thought it was good. I didn't have any correction, I thought. You guys wanna take it home with you and read through it and see if there's anything? Cause this is the last draft. It comes to the planning committee,
Yeah,
right?
Public hearing at our next meeting.
Right, and then you bring it to us.
Right.
But he did give it to me, so I'm gonna step ahead
So that's a public hearing in August?
Yes.
in August.
I,
And I
I
also-
think most of the townships and villages are having public meetings this month because they're trying to get it done before end of September.
Yeah, probably that's true.
And it's the same thing, it's just the local part that we already did and sent to them, they added into that. And
Yeah,
that's basically what you've got there.
well, Doug says he wants to have us okay the whole thing, cause he doesn't think it's good to have just each place do just their part of it.
I don't either, because there's a lot of the general part that speaks to the county. Well, we're part of the county.
Right,
So
we
if
are.
you don't adopt that section,
Well,
and
you
then
know,
something
Patrick,
happens down the road,
Patrick must not think we are, but we are.
I'll
because
say
of all the crap
you
I
might be
went
able to make it 2 motions, like, hey, I approve this one, and then I approve the rest,
through.
like,
Well, and we
Well,
just.
it's all
gotta
one
do the
plan,
whole
but
thing.
each
Yeah.
village has to adopt their section. or
Yeah,
township.
which, like I said, I'll give you, and then, so you'll come to us probably September meeting,
Mhm.
and then we can do it there. Okay, that's the plan. And I gave you the surveys because I thought they were really interesting. I made a copy for
Okay,
everybody.
so you're saying the open meeting is gonna be in September
Ours
then?
is the, whatever the
You said-
second Wednesday is. We had to move it out a week because,
13th,
okay,
because
13th.
our meeting's, I think, the 12th, so that would be the 13th,
Okay,
Okay.
August 13th, I think.
yeah, so
And so
it'll
then
be
you would
your
come to our
September
meeting
one.
in September,
Okay. so
and
We had
then
to
we
push it
will
out.
adopt it after they say, okay, this is what we think you should do.
Okay, open
We
meeting
had to
then.
push it out a week because Lockport's is the same night as our normal meeting, so we pushed it out a week. He already advertised their public meeting.
Okay, okay. So that's that part.
I do have a question on this.
Yes.
Do you know if Kevin Harris has looked at this? Cause I'm not sure that some of the housing statistics are
You
correct.
know what? I have a BOR meeting, not next week, but the following week, so I will give it to him.
Okay, cause to me it looks like there's a drop, in 2021, we had 722 detached houses, and then it dropped to it dropped quite a bit in 2022. But then on page 1, it shows 0, I'm not sure what.
I saw the 0 too, and I
For the
wondered
year-
that exact
Right, cause
thing.
there's houses built in Falcon Cove,
Right,
there's all those
Mhm.
houses built on Orchard Street,
right,
so I'm not sure that those numbers are,
okay, so but this is just the township,
That's
not
just
the
township,
village,
yeah.
it's just the township.
just the township.
Outside of town.
So
It
Falcon
doesn't
Cove is
include
in the
the
village,
No, they
Does
have
not
their own
include the
section.
village.
they have their own section,
Okay,
so
I misspoke
that
then.
might be why,
That's
but I
probably
still will
why.
show it to him, because I think that's a good idea,
Okay,
and he'll know off the top of his head.
okay.
You know how he is. Okay, are we done with that? You guys, any more questions? Okay. We need to close the bank accounts. I made a resolution, it's in there. We need to vote on closing the bank accounts and make a resolution to do that. And the bank accounts are for Sturgis Bank and Old National, because we don't need them any longer. We'll just have Omni and Southern Michigan Bank and Trust. That resolution's on my desk. So we need to resolve that we are allowed to close Sturgis Bank and Trust, our account there, and the account at Old National Bank.
Yeah,
And we need to vote on that,
Yes, we do.
and then we'll do the resolution, so I can take it with me when I close them.
yeah, you have to have it right.
And then we'll just put it all into our general fund,
Yeah,
but there's no reason to have them anymore.
No.
Okay.
Do you want me to go get the resolution?
Oh, I'm close in here, I'll get it.
It's on my desk. Who knows where it is? There's 3 of them, and I think they're on top of my printer.
And we only need
The other 2 we
one.
don't need to do yet.
Mm.
I don't think so. Thank you, Cindy.
I will make a motion to close those.
What? Okay,
Okay, I make a motion to close bank account number 36004808 at Sturgis Bank and Trust, and 6302400632 at Old National Bank,
second?
as they are not needed.
And transfer the, should we say, and transfer the funds to the
And
general?
transfer the
Does it
funds
say
to
it in
the,
there?
general fund at Southern
to the
Michigan.
general fund at Southern Michigan.
And maybe list the account number?
Yeah,
Southern
yeah.
Michigan.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay. And you
I'll
second it?
second.
And that's gonna be resolution 2025-03.
Do we need a roll call vote on it, or
I
not?
believe we do. It
think
has
you
to
would.
do
I
with
think we
money.
do.
Brown,
Yes.
who is absent. Skelton, yes. The floor,
Yes.
Arnett.
Yes.
Motion.
Motion passed.
4-0.
Okay, and then I went to a supervisor meeting that Chad Spence called, and we talked about everything, but what really it was about was, two things. Horse and buggy driver's manual, they're trying to get this to the Amish for safety for them. They're trying to get them to put some kind of light they came up with on the back, because they're coming into Michigan, and you know, when there's a horse and buggy wreck, there's no happy ending at all. You know, it's just bad. And so they've been meeting with the individual sex of-
Orders or something.
yeah, of the Amish, and some are really open to it and some are totally against it. But they're trying to make it aware. Anyway, I have this driver's manual they're giving them if anybody wants to look at it. We went over all of that, and it has us to be aware. It also has part of it for people who drive cars to be aware of what they should do, and that they shouldn't cut in front too close because it scares the horses. You know, you have to go around them and give them plenty of room and that kind of thing. So that's what the first part was about. The second part was about an LPR, and it's a license plate reader. And what they're thinking of doing, nothing's been decided yet, but what they wanted to bring to us is that license plate readers are great for crime. You know, because if they're chasing somebody, they can check if they've seen that license plate or anything. It tells them where they're at, they can track it down. I think there's one in Three Rivers and one in Sturgis that have been very useful to them. And it does read your license plate. After 30 days, it drops that information. They don't share it with anybody. It's not a problem for us privacy-wise, but it's very helpful for them. And it's $5,000 to install it and $1,200 a year to have an annual operating cost. And they're thinking about going to the county with it because, you know, they would like to place them in certain, like North River Road would be perfect because people don't take main roads when they're running from the police or when they've done something wrong or whatever. And so there's several places around the county they would like them, so they're thinking that maybe the county would help them with that and maybe share with the townships an expense, like if they put one here, maybe they could pay half, we could pay half, or something like that. But that's really what it was all about, but it's really interesting, amber alerts, silver alerts, all that kind of stuff. It's really good for.
Used for the,
That's
for the
what it's
license
used
plate
for,
reader. Okay.
yep, and then of course criminals,
Okay, I get it.
that kind of thing. I thought it was good. They really implemented that they're not gonna go into our privacy or share any of our information with anybody. It's just for them for, you know, doing those kind of things. That was their biggest deal.
And this was the sheriff, correct?
It was Chad Spence, it was his deputy sheriff, and then there was a deputy there, so it was, and then there was a state policeman there also, that went through all this with us. And it was the first time they said they've ever had a state policeman come to any kind of meeting here, like that, and it was all the supervisors. So it was really interesting, and I agree with them. I think it would make it safer for everybody, and especially Amber Alerts and that type of thing. It would be good for. Paige.
If I remember correctly, Jason said it was 5,000 per camera.
Right, it's per
So
camera.
yeah, if Constantine Township
That's-
sits 3, that's 15,000.
Right, yeah, if they did 3 here, but I don't see that happening. I think they might do 1, and then another thing would be right on a line, so you would share with another township.
Yeah.
You know, but that is right, it's per camera, and it's $1,200 a year per camera. No, I'm wrong. It's $1,200 a year, period.
Yeah.
For however many cameras are in
Yeah,
here,
for the county.
to watch them and keep up with everything. But, and the 5,000 is only one time. It's not yearly or anything. So.
Unless somebody steals the camera.
Well,
breaks
that,
it or
yeah,
whatever,
or
but-
maybe if something happens to it,
Yeah.
and then they'd have to fix it, but anyway, that's what that was about mostly. But we did talk about homeless and all kinds of stuff,
What
so.
did they say about the homeless problem?
Well, They said they thought that we've had a few homeless in our county for years.
Oh, yeah,
But the
It's
amount of homeless
increasing.
we have now, they really feel, Kalamazoo is cracking down, and they really feel that somebody might be shipping them down here. They really feel that, really. That's what Chad said. So I think that, and so it's becoming a problem. And they don't really know what they're gonna do about it at this time. But, yeah, so that was what we talked about. And they talked about the campments and the thing that they have moved and that they have booby trapped some of them, and it just made it really hard to get to them and to move them around and do anything for them. They just don't want us to. So, if I was homeless, I'd move to Florida. I gotta tell you, I would never stay in Michigan, not for the winter. But anyway, and they think that as good as all the programs for them are, it almost enables them. You know, they can get free food, they can get free clothing, they can get all of these free things, which is, for us, we're trying to do something good, but it almost enables them. So they're trying to work it out. They were just talking about it. That's what they talked about. So, and that was most of it that we talked about. So, and then North River Road, did you read in the paper about North River Road? Do you know anything about it?
Was another accident maybe?
No.
No?
So Congressman Wahlberg has pushed out of the 600 things that he has, 3 of them, and North River Road is one of them.
Oh.
And think they're gonna raise $6.8 million. They have to vote on it in Congress, and then it has to go to the appropriation committee, and if they do it, then it will go to President Trump. And if he signs it, we'll get the money. And then they need another 1.6 million through the road commission, and they actually have a grant for $800,000 with that. So it looks like they'll be working on North River Road, which will make it wider and safer, but it's not gonna do anything about the speed limit. And John told me, this was not there, but John told me that he thought they were thinking about putting a middle lane there,
Oh, okay.
which would be really good if they did
Yeah,
that.
right, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, the state would put a middle lane.
he said they're
turn
thinking
lane.
about it. None of this has come.
Right,
It's not finalized, but he thinks it's gonna be.
so the road itself will probably be widened
Yes,
and whatever. But also the state may put a turn lane in.
right,
at
and
North
then
River
widen the
131.
sides where you turn, you know.
That's really neat.
That would be helpful, very, very helpful, I think. And helpful down on 12 too. There's not that much that happens on 12 like it does on 131, but I know there's been a couple wrecks down there too. So, and most of it is just people flying, you know, not stopping. So, anyway, that was that. Did I get everything? I think so. Oh, and our public hearing is gonna be next meeting. We're gonna have a public hearing at 7:03, and we're hoping that it can be the raise on the property tax and our millage rate for the fire and ambulance together. We're gonna find out if we can do that all at once, which we're hoping we can. So, I'll check on that, but we'll find out. Any questions?
Well, the Wahlberg, 6.8 million was from Congress,
State.
US Congress,
State,
state Congress.
or federal, it has to be
Federal, if you're saying-
Trump's gonna
you're saying
sign it.
Trump's
Well,
signing it,
that's what
sounds
it's
federal
told,
to me.
yeah. And there was a big
Federal.
article in the paper about it. John didn't wanna talk about it that much till we knew, and then Jack, I think, went ahead and put an article in the paper about it, so.
That's
Leave it
Have
to
to read
Jack.
that.
That's the appropriations money, right?
Yeah, appropriations money,
And then there's 1 million from the county,
1.6,
1.6. And then that leaves a 200,000 that's not covered?
No, at least 800,000 that's not covered, because
800,000.
they can get a grant for 800,000, But evidently, they must be putting up the other 800,000.
Somebody else.
Well, it'd have to be the county, cause it's a primary road, we don't
Yeah.
have anything to do with it. So,
right.
yeah, I know, I was glad that too. So we're getting there.
Okay.
So he felt that having that meeting and all the things we've tried to do, cause I have emailed that office, I've talked to that office at Wahlberg's about it, with the other reps happening and everything, that has come to his attention more. So hopefully we get this done, and that can be done and make it safer for everybody.
Yeah, cause they're not gonna stop using it, so,
No, they're not now.
no.
And since Google won't change anything. Okay, so that's it for me. I don't think I have anything else, I think that's it. Yep, those are the resolutions for that, we're good. Okay,
I have a follow-up, sorry.
go ahead.
I have a follow-up question for Marcia. The equipment that got updated, do we have any miscellaneous elections coming up, or are we clear for a while? Any elections?
I will not know about, I don't have an August election.
Okay,
I don't know if I'll have a November until, I believe, the end of August.
okay, thank you.
And we talked about the next time we have an election to try to put our road millage back on, but we don't wanna do it till somebody else has that election too.
Yeah.
So it may not be till next year.
It doesn't sound like the school's gonna have one,
Okay,
from what I've heard through the grapevine, but you never know.
Yeah.
thank you.
Okay, audience participation. Anything? Nobody? Okay then. That means adjournment, cause Doug's not here.
Yes,
Okay,
Who's this lady? I'm sorry, I don't know you.
I'm at the cemetery.
yeah, Kayla.
Oh, you're Kayla.
Yeah.
Have I seen you before? Oh my gosh.
She's never seen you with glasses on.
Sorry, that's maybe it.
Yeah, I
Kayla
think
from
so.
cemetery. Okay. Sorry about that.
I just took a shower and I look nice.
Is that it? You're not dirty? I know that
Not
feeling.
covered in your grubbies, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.